Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it will be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! This was nearly 2 decades ago and the details are a bit fuzzy. I tried to recall the events to the best of my memory. This happened when I was 11 or 12, so place it in 2000 or 2001. My recently divorced dad had been dating this really cool, sweet lady for nearly a year at this point, and she had a son who was only a year younger than me. The relationship fell apart later, but those details aren't relevant to the story. During this time, the relationship was strong enough that I considered her and her son my step-family. Hence, their cast member placeholder names. We had all gone out to see a movie. I don't remember which movie, but this took place in 2000 or 2001. So let's say it was a Jurassic Park 3 opening weekend. The theater we went to had just introduced label-reserved seating, and Dad had reserved our seats the day prior, so he was able to get all 4 seats next to each other, from left to right. The seating arrangement was my stepmom, Dad, stepbrother, then me. This is relevant for what's coming up later. Me and stepbrother sat down in our seats, and Dad and stepmom put their jackets in their respective seats. They wanted to go get everyone some concessions. So Dad asked my stepbrother and me what we wanted. As they were leaving, Dad asked us to keep an eye on their seats and jackets. Not long after Dad and stepmom left to get the snacks, another family of 3 showed up, our entitled family. They started to sit down next to our seats, but the entitled kid grabbed my stepmom's jacket and threw it on the floor, and sat in her seat. He and the other entitled kid were both around 16 or 17 and much bigger than either me or my stepbrother. Regardless, we were in charge of guarding these seats and jackets. So I got up to see if maybe they got the wrong seats. I say to the first entitled kid, "Hey, sorry, but can you check your ticket stub for your seat? This seater has reserved seats, and my stepmom is supposed to sit there."
"No, you have the wrong seats."
"Are you sure? My dad has our stubs in. I'm pretty sure that's where my stepmom is supposed to sit."
"I don't care, kid. Get out of my face." "Yeah, leave my brother alone, you dumb brat."
The entitled mother, having overheard the conversation,
"What's going on? Why are you bothering my kids?"
"I'm just trying to see if maybe you all have accidentally sat in the wrong seats. I want to see if maybe you all could move over 1 seat since your son is sitting in my stepmom's reserved spot."
"No, we reserved these seats and we are sitting here." "Yeah, kid, get lost now."
Me deciding that there is nothing I could do about them until Dad and stepmom come back, I ask, "Can I at least pick up my stepmom jacket that you threw on the floor?" And the kid ignores me. "Excuse me, can I at least pick up the jacket?"
"No, go sit down."
I try to pick up the jacket anyway, and the entitled kid starts trying to kick my arms and head as I was trying to pick up the jacket.
"Stop trying to touch me."
Then the entitled mother, in the shrillest voice imaginable,
"Leave my kids alone. Stop trying to bite my brother."
"Oh, I'll sit down, but my parents are on their way back." I sit down without the jacket. Stepbrother says to me, "What are we going to do?" I answer, "We just have to wait until stepmom and dad come back." And they come back about 10 minutes later. My stepmom sees her jacket on the floor and says, "What's going on?" Dad to me and my stepbrother, "What is this person doing in your mom's seat?" So I explained the exact situation to my dad and stepmom. Dad said, "Alright, I'll take care of this." Then he asks the entitled mother, "Did your kid here throw my girlfriend's coat on the floor and take her seat?"
"These are reserved seats, and her ugly coat,"
she hasn't even seen the coat yet,
"was in my son's seat, so he had every right to move it."
but he threw it on the nasty floor instead of just handing it to my son over there. He wouldn't even let my son pick the jacket off the floor. He started trying to kick my son in the head when he tried picking it up.
That's because the little jerk was trying to touch and bite my legs. Yeah, your brat of a son was trying to assault my child, and the other snot-nosed little brat, she points to my stepbrother, got up and started cheering him on, saying, "Bite him, bite him."
Mom asked did this happen, and I said no. He stayed in his seat quiet the whole time.
No, they are lying. He was trying to assault my children. Yeah, he tried to bite my brother.
Dad, knowing that's just something I wouldn't do, he says, I highly doubt that. Anyway, your kid needs to move since that's my girlfriend's spot.
No, I reserved these seats.
Then Dad pulls my stepmom's ticket stub out of his pocket. No, the seat number matches what's on her stub. He tries to show the entitled mother, and she unsuccessfully tries to snatch the stub away from him.
No, that's wrong.
One of her entitled kids also tries to snatch the stub away. A theater employee, having witnessed the tail end of the commotion, he asks, "What's going on? Is everyone okay? What can I do to help?"
No, this family of degenerates is trying to steal one of our seats.
Pointing at me.
That one tried to assault my kids.
And now pointing at my dad.
And that one took my son's ticket stub away from me when I tried to show him proof. He's even got it in his hand.
So my dad tells the employee that no, this is my girlfriend's ticket stub. I was trying to show her that the seat numbers match up. They threw her jacket on the floor and this entitled kid sat in her seat. The employee says, okay, first off I need to see everyone's ticket stubs to confirm they are accurate and that no mistakes were made in our system. Dad, being the one who has all our ticket stubs, pulls them all out at once and shows the employee. Okay, these match up. Then he asks the entitled mother, may I see your group stubs? And she turns white in the face. She says,
no, I threw them away after they tore the tickets from them.
But you were just saying that this gentleman here snatched one of your stubs away. She stammers on her words a bit and says,
except for that one, I saved that one.
Ma'am, we instruct our patrons to keep their stubs for this very reason. And since they have all their stubs and you have none, I have to assume you either did throw all your stubs away or you didn't buy any tickets at all. And now all three members of the entitled family started to look panicked.
I want to speak to your manager. This is absurd.
I am the manager, ma'am, and I'll have to ask you to leave.
No, we are sitting here. I reserved these seats.
Without proof of purchase, we really don't know, do we? I'll have to ask you to leave, ma'am.
I'm not moving.
Then one of her kids gets up and says,
Mom, we need to go before they call security or something. No, we won't.
So, the employee calls for security over his radio and explains the situation. 2 minutes later, the security guard arrives. And he asks the employee, which group needs to be escorted out? And the entitled mother points at us.
That group, they stole our seats and assaulted me and my children.
But the employee says, no. She and her family are the ones that are causing the commotion. Could you please escort them off the property? Absolutely. Alright, ma'am. You and the rest of your party need to come with me. The entitled mother gets up and walks towards me.
If you hadn't have said anything, we could have watched the movie in peace.
Then she throws a full 20-ounce bottle of Coke at me, and it hits me directly in the eye. Ow! What the hell is wrong with you? That hurt! Dad, now full of rage, rushes at the entitled mother. How dare you throw that at my son? I am calling the police. Then the entitled family pulls it for the exit with the security guard in tow. Dad says to the employee, your security team better catch them before I do. Then he takes off after the entitled family and the security guard. The employee says to me, my God, are you okay? I answer, my eye hurts, but I think I'm alright. The security guard heard over the employee's radio, We caught up to them, and the police are on their way. You need to get the other group out here too so the police can ask questions when they arrive. Okay, we'll be there in a second. So the employee tells us y'all better come with me. We follow the employee outside where security has both the entitled mother and dad in handcuffs, with the two entitled kids sitting on a sidewalk. Stepmom asks, "Why is dad in handcuffs too?" And a security guard answers, he was coming at the entitled mother very aggressively and we didn't want anyone else getting hurt. Dad says, "Yeah, I was pretty mad. Don't worry about me, I'm fine." The police arrive 20 minutes later and start taking our stories. With so many witnesses, it was obvious who was at fault. Dad ended up pressing charges against her. The police took the entitled mother away in a police car after additional questioning. I don't know what happened to the entitled kids, but I'm assuming their dad or someone came to get them. During the ordeal, we ended up missing the beginning of the movie. The theater offered to give my father free tickets to another showing and he accepted. We ended up going back to finally see the movie the very next weekend, with thankfully one less encounter with the entitled mother. When I was typing this out, I had to ask my dad what eventually happened to the entitled mother, and he told me that she got a fine and like half a year in jail for assaulting a minor, and he was pretty sure she was banned from that theater. A few years ago, while traveling in India, I decided to try a 10-day silent meditation retreat. The retreat was out in the middle of nowhere and home to a large colony of the biggest and fiercest ants I have ever seen. As this was a Buddhist retreat, no measures were taken to get rid of them and they were everywhere. When you turned on a tap, ants came first, then the water. That's not hyperbole. A couple of days in, my hard-earned tranquility was shattered by another mediator who felt it was his right to cut in front of me while waiting for our evening meal. The jerk even had the audacity to give me a little smirk as he did it, knowing I couldn't call him out on it. I could only glare impotently at the back of his cute jumping head. I was livid to say the least. In the following meditation sessions, I couldn't concentrate on the practice. I could think of nothing but revenge. Luckily, I had a lot of time to think and slowly a plan emerged. The following day, while making myself a cup of chai, I surreptitiously pocketed a large handful of sugar, which I later dispensed into a half-full water bottle, creating a lovely syrup. At the next meditation session, I made sure I was last in line to enter the building. Before you enter the building, you remove your flip-flops and leave them outside. I made sure to mark my enemy's footwear as he removed them, and when I was alone outside, I joyfully doused them in syrup, being careful to avoid any innocent victim's shoes. After a few hours of peaceful meditation, we all began leaving the building. Doubts had started entering my mind. What if it didn't work? What if he only has sticky flip-flops? Not the worst outcome, but still. However, I was in luck. My plan had worked. His flip-flops were now a writhing mess of angry sugar-fueled ants. His face was priceless. Shock, horror, complete confusion. He broke his vow of silence instantly, but it was in Hindi, so I'll never know what he actually said. The tone was disbelief though. He tried vainly to gingerly pick one up, but was fended off by the gallant soldier ants with their massive jaws. He eventually found a stick with which to hook them with, but that failed as well as the ant started to climb down the stick, frightening him into dropping it. He left barefoot and perplexed. Victory was mine, and I could return to my meditation satiated. I used to work for a guy that was a massive jerk. He purchased a business on a whim and swiftly ran it to the ground. I left the place, but he did his best to drag my name through the mud well after I was gone. In response, I have business cards printed that say "You parked like a jerk. Give me a call for a free parking lesson," with his phone number listed underneath. Anytime I see someone park terribly, I will pop a business card under the wiper, and it brings me such a joy to know that On any day of the week, this guy is going to be ultra confused by some random person calling him and telling him to go and screw himself for commenting on their parking. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.